The sugarcane ran like green water on both sides of the road, blades whispering in the crosswind. A hand-painted sign pointed toward a gravel lane, the word plantation barely legible. At the far end, the house rose pale and tall, shutters closed, porch rails straight as ribs. A smaller board read RV Pads, the Crevasse restaurant. They parked near the edge of the cane, the camper rocking once before settling. Heat thickened the air. The husband cut the engine and the wife rolled her window down. Beneath the hum of insects came something steadier, the faint clank of old plumbing maybe, or the sound of water moving underground. They had come for history. It was their ritual now, recording forgotten towns, cemeteries, and stories that slipped between official records. He kept a field recorder. She kept a ledger. This plantation appeared too often in parish archives, with births that never had deaths and families that began again under the same names. A young man met them with a clipboard. He had the stillness of someone raised inside quiet. He marked their site number and mentioned the restaurant. Best gumbo in the parish? Behind him, a woman waved from the porch. Her beauty felt ageless, her manner practiced. When she smiled, it flashed bright and vanished before it could mean anything. They walked the grounds before sunset. The sugarcane bordered everything like a living wall. On a low rise behind the house, a cemetery sat crowded with above-ground vaults. White boxes, tarred seams, names eroded by weather. The wife brushed dirt from a stone dated 1846. The husband crouched by the ditch and saw his own reflection ripple in black water. Wind moved through the cane in one clean breath, the sound like a whispering crowd. She began writing names, drawing arrows between generations. The same surnames repeated every few decades. Infant, no record. He switched on the recorder and caught a minute of the place. The insects, the slow pulse of pipes, and, under it, a laugh that could have been a child or water moving through reeds. They dined at the Crevasse after dusk. The restaurant smelled of bleach and hot oil. The mother worked the floor alone, setting down plates with quiet precision. When she smiled, the light caught her teeth in a way that felt too sharp, then gone. The son refilled their water and asked if they'd driven through the storm. "More coming," he said, eyes on the window. The husband set the recorder on the table. Its red light glowed, though he hadn't switched it on. Outside, the fields shimmered with dew. The graveyard looked like a cluster of boats at anchor. From the camper window, they saw people standing along the path, motionless silhouettes, too still for smoke breaks or phone calls. The wife watched until her reflection replaced them in the glass. He turned the recorder off. The light stayed on. He opened the battery door, pulled the cells, and set them on the counter. The light died. When he turned away, it blinked once, faint as an ember. Rain started after midnight. The first drops came slow, then a steady drumming. The wife woke to a new sound beneath it, a small, deliberate tapping under the camper, like fingers on plastic. She held still and counted. The rhythm paused when she breathed, resumed when she didn't. She told herself, branches, then pipes, until excuses ran out. The husband shifted beside her but did not wake. Morning cleared the air to glass. The ditch overflowed with dark water. On the path leading up to the graveyard, tiny handprints marked the mud, each one pressed flat, fingers spread, wrist bent back so the heel never touched. The prints formed an even trail from the ditch to the vaults, and then curved behind them. The wife crouched and set her palm beside one. It was small but human, perfect down to the whirl of a fingertip. The husband said, "Raccoon," but the word sounded like it didn't belong in this air. They toured the main house late that morning. A docent guided them through roped-off rooms, naming families, skipping decades. She spoke of floods that lifted coffins from the earth. "You can't bury the dead here," she said. "The river doesn't allow it." In the parlor, they found framed copies of family ledgers, births repeating, deaths missing, infants with no baptisms. One surname matched the current owner's. The wife traced the name with her finger and felt the page vibrate faintly beneath the glass, as if something shallow breathed behind it. Lunch at the Crevasse brought more heat, more static in the air. The mother told a story of children lost to fever, buried too soon in wet years. Some said they had learned to move differently underground. The son, clearing plates, smiled like someone enduring a tale told too often. When the wife asked if he believed it, he said, "The ground remembers things." That night, the tapping returned sooner. It started near the wheels, traveled up the step, paused, then began again under the floor. The husband watched the recorder light itself once more. He could feel the air change, heavy, waiting. He stood to open the blind and saw movement at the edge of the cane, several small shapes low to the ground, darting fast, their speed wrong for animals that size. Rain came harder. When it stopped, new prints dotted the mud, perfect and reversed. One streak ran upward across the camper door, ending in a smear at shoulder height. Inside, the wife wiped the fogged window and found 5 marks on the glass. Inside, not out. They decided to leave the next evening. Before packing, they stopped in the parlor to copy one final chart. Under a glass frame, an old family tree showed a branch dying out, then starting again decades later under identical names. The wife wrote them all down. Behind the glass, the paper's edge quivered in the air conditioning that wasn't running. Back in the camper, the husband's phone rang, a local number. A man's voice, calm and neighborly, offered to help secure their rig before the front hit again. He said he was 5 sites down. The husband thanked him and hung up, then frowned. He'd never shared his number here. Outside, a figure shifted near the cane, listening. He stepped out. The son appeared near the laundry, holding a coil of new rope. "Storm's coming fast," he said. The mallet in his other hand looked unused. The husband nodded, meaning to leave, but the wind turned sweet and metallic, and for an instant the boy's smile caught light in a way that changed his face. Thin, bright, gone. The husband stepped back. The son let the rope hang. The cane bent, whispering. He turned toward a sound deeper in the dark. The couple left before full night. The headlights slid over the crevasse. The mother stood in the doorway, one hand braced against the frame, her eyes unblinking as they passed. In the mirrors, the cemetery flickered white between flashes of lightning. On the parish road, the rain slackened. The wife set the recorder on the dash. The red light blinked, though no battery was inside. She covered it with her hand. They stopped for fuel miles later. A cicada screamed under a sodium lamp. The husband checked the straps and found water dripping from the spare tire bin. When he lifted it down, a thin stream poured over his hands. Along the bumper, pressed into wet dust, were small handprints, 5 fingers each, no palm, marching neat from corner to center. He stood staring until the lamp hummed loud enough to drown his pulse. Inside, the wife opened her ledger to the page from the chart. In the final empty column, she wrote a single word: unclaimed. The elastic band snapped when she tried to close the book. She looped it anyway. The husband climbed in without speaking. The recorder's light flickered once, bright, then dimmed to nothing. They drove north. Cane gave way to pine. The air lost its sweetness. Neither spoke the word vampire or curse, or any word that might lock this into one truth. They stayed with what could be named a restaurant with good gumbo, a graveyard that floated, prints in the mud that didn't wash away. When they stopped hours later, the husband checked beneath the camper. Nothing moved, yet he could still feel the faint rhythm of tapping through the soles of his shoes, patient and light. He went inside and lay beside his wife. Sleep came slow, uncertain. Just before he drifted off, she felt it, a tiny pressure high on her back, 5 points without a palm, testing the give of flesh like someone remembering how to touch. It withdrew without sound. In the morning, the phone's call log showed a blank space where the number should have been. The ledger's pages curled at the edges. The recorder lay quiet on the counter, battery door half open. They would tell the story later as a mystery of history, not belief. But sometimes, in parking lots or motel rooms, they'd feel the same 5-point weight on their backs, light as breath, unmistakable as memory. Far to the south, the river would rise again, and rain would beat the sugarcane flat. Along the path to the vaults, small handprints would press into the fresh mud, careful, forward, wrists bent back, tracing the same route they always did, waiting for new travelers who wanted to touch the past.